So let's dive into the life of one of the 20th century's most towering figures, Winston Churchill. We're going to unpack the story of the man behind the larger-than-life legend.
When you hear the name Churchill, chances are these are the words that pop into your head. His legacy is just that powerful. But in this explainer, we're going to look at how he actually earned that incredible reputation.
We're kicking things off with what might be his most defining characteristic, courage. But this wasn't just a one-time thing. It was a quality that ran through his entire life, from the battlefield all the way to the highest office in the land. So how did he become that symbol of courage? Well, he certainly wasn't born a prime minister. The leader we remember was forged over decades of really intense experience in war, in politics, and in public life. Just look at this timeline. It shows you the sheer breadth of his early days. Born into aristocracy in 1874, sure, but he didn't just sit around. He jumped right into the action, serving as both a military officer and a war correspondent. From there, he started climbing that political ladder, holding huge jobs like First Lord of the Admiralty and even Chancellor of the Exchequer. Every single one of these steps was like a class in a decades-long education on how to run a country and fight a war. And that education, it would prove to be absolutely essential.
All of that experience, all those different jobs, it was all building toward a single critical moment, a moment that would be tested in one of history's absolute darkest hours, a crisis that would define his legacy forever.
The year is 1940, and this is the moment everything changes. Britain is on the brink of collapse, and right in this crucible of crisis, Churchill becomes prime minister. Talk about pressure.
And the situation was grim, to put it lightly. With most of Europe already fallen, the threat wasn't some far-off problem anymore. It was an existential danger, looming right across the English Channel, ready to invade.
So how in the world do you lead a country through that? Well, he used words as weapons. Think about it. At a time of incredible fear, with bombs literally falling on British cities, his voice on the radio became this source of national strength. His speeches weren't just simple morale boosters, they were a powerful declaration of unbreakable resolve.
But here's the thing, the story doesn't just end with victory in the war. Churchill's life took some really surprising turns afterwards, revealing a man who was way more than just a wartime leader.
This is honestly one of the wildest stories in politics. Just try to imagine it. You're at the absolute peak of your career, having led your nation to victory in 1945, and you get voted out of office. It was a stunning defeat. But his story wasn't over. In a jaw-dropping political comeback, he returns as prime minister in 1951.
And here's a fact that just shows his incredible range. In 1953, he won the Nobel Prize. Now, you'd think it would be for peace, right? Nope, it was for literature. It's this incredible confirmation that his mastery of the English language wasn't just for wartime speeches, he was just as powerful on the page as a historian and a biographer.
Okay, so when you put all of these different pieces together, the soldier, the politician, the wartime leader, the author, what is the legacy that truly endures?
Churchill passed away on January 24, 1965, but his impact on history was already set in stone. His story continues to be studied, debated, and retold all over the world, even today.
In the end, if you boil it all down, his legacy really rests on these three powerful pillars. He's remembered for his unwavering leadership when it mattered most, his unbreakable courage in the face of just overwhelming odds, and a decisive determination that inspired an entire nation to victory.
And that kind of leaves us with a final question to think about. When you look at a life as complex as Churchill's, a life full of massive triumphs, crushing defeats, and incredible surprises, what do you think really defines a leader's legacy? Is it their single greatest achievement, or is it the sum of their entire complicated and often messy life?